trading bell, my heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Listen now. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow.
Okay, now I'm going over to the... I'm going to take my glasses off. Nobody knows that I wear glasses, but that's why I squint so much. Okay. So, I guess I'm here? Yeah, the camera's got like a... Now, why is this off? There we go. That's a little bit better. Now I'm a little bit more lit. Lit! An impromptu one. Yeah. So I've got this camera mic, and it follows me. It's kind of cool. But what I'm doing is I'm trying, you can hear me, right? Let me make sure. Yeah, okay. So it's good. I need to check the recording too. So I hit the recording. Everything's recording. Everything's going on live. I got everything. I got myself over here. I got the chart that looks good. I got my notes. And when I look over at my notes all the way on the left, it's supposed to follow my head, but I don't know that it follows my head. But I have, probably take a picture of this phone. And Mike, the goal is, and I just got this, I was going to go live on Substack with the paid newsletter folks, but I was not able to because back to 08 5 24.3. That's 24 months. 3. Zero 8 55 5 24. Am I lagging at all, Mike? You're going to be kind of my guinea pig here to make sure. I think my voice syncs up. That was the other thing I had to do. I think my voice syncs up. This seems to be going out. And I don't know why. I think maybe the power. I think I think the mic probably sounds bad. Let me make sure. I think, yeah, that's plugged in. Plug that probably into the monitor. I need to figure out the power situation. I think that's the main issue. Let me just test. I'm going to test the show exit, but I'll be right back.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell, my heart.
Okay. Sure. Just sounding a bit weird. The mic, I think it's the power situation. The mic definitely sounds sloppy from what I can hear. Yeah. I think it sounds sloppy. Yeah, I need to kind of a light over there. Some stuff. Okay. Am I planning on adding more NVIDIA? That's a good question. My notes on NVIDIA, I'll share with you tomorrow. Oh God, and I don't know why. Hey Elon, your freaking thing doesn't go to lights out automatically. Put me default should be lights out automatically. Don't tell me that, you can't have that setting default to lights out. This is an interesting one. If you bought NVIDIA on the earnings day and exited 5 candles later, over the last 2 years, it's 101% return rate, 71% win, 10.96% average return. That's crazy good, And you look at their data center growth. Look at that quarter over quarter. That's what's going to be in focus. Now, the implied move on NVIDIA is 10.09%, largest over the last 10 quarters. So, am I? Yeah, Victor and Mike. It's a little bit sloppy. It's not as clean as I normally am. I noticed it on the recording. I'll check it out again. But I'm not as clean. Now, back to am I adding NVIDIA? I announced this yesterday, and WVF, I think you were here. I have more NVIDIA than I thought I did. So, I don't know. I mean, I've been adding to it. I didn't realize how much I had. It's kind of like, the paid members know. I didn't realize how much SMCI I had. I didn't realize how much of a gain I had in SMCI, and when I went to sell some of it for a gain. I don't know what I'm going to do, but at the very least, you should not follow me, because my average purchase price for NVIDIA is somewhere in the neighborhood of 300. Because I bought the large majority of my purchase was May of 2023. So if we go back to May of 2023, you're trading in 27. And you jumped up after the earnings to 39. So whether I buy it or whether I kind of add to it, I don't think that should make a determination on your situation. I think you have to determine whether the market is going to reward an enormous beat, or is it going to punish it? If it misses anything, is it going to punish it? Now, August, 77% over the last 26 years, it's been positive. You can see, I mean, the only month that's negative is freaking January. So I can't imagine that we get a significant pullback, but in my situation, I probably am not adding to it. And the only reason is I didn't realize how much I had And so I'll wait for the earnings. If it goes up, I'm happy buying more. If it goes down, I'm happy buying more. And so I think you have to kind of make that determination on your own about your own portfolio. And boy, I really need to get the beauty filter up on this thing. Is my head too big? Because my head's usually not this big. But I like the fact that it's going to track me. Like wherever I go. I like that. And if you guys say the sound is good, then I'm going to trust you. Let's been on for 10 minutes. I need to stay on for about 30. So let us. MicroStrategy is one that I want to look at. This got another 137 in your 50. I added to it a little bit here. Did add to it right after it split. I think my average purchase price is somewhere in the neighborhood of I want to say 145, 36, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's between there, and I do have a lot of this. And I also have a lot of IWM. Let's see where the futures are. Futures are down. Did they pee and poop? Yay. Stocks most loved and shunned by hedge funds and mutual funds. Oil majors, OPEC face risks. China's Black Myth, fire at Rivian, Illinois plant. Damages several vehicles. Facility unaffected. How do you have a fire and your facility's unaffected? Yeah. Here. You can go up here. You can do 2 charts, 3 charts. You can do all one symbol. You can do multi-symbol view. You can have different timeline. Like say you want to do 2 charts, a weekly and a 4-hour. So you can do it right there. Say you want it side by side instead of like on top there. You can do it like that. So I just like 1 chart, 1 symbol. 2 girls, 1 cup never turned me on. Wasn't my thing. Is that too much for this nighttime episode? We're at Cinemax After Hours right now. I mean, the after hours on this thing doesn't make sense to get. Got a nice gap up here with Apple. And the MACD's not, it's only at what, 3, 2.6 and gone up to like 5 here. Yeah, Trendspider, I don't do enough touting of Trendspider. By the way, there was this was such a great video, by the way. It's 6 minutes. I don't think you can hear this, though. I can hear it. But this is such a good video. I'm going to play this tomorrow. And then there's this. Warren Buffett is currently trading at new all-time highs. Now less than $30 billion away from joining the $1 trillion club. So, Boeing. Oh, God. Boeing's a nightmare. Boeing, I don't know what they're going to open up at tomorrow, but that's embarrassing. They're going to send the ship back without the astronauts, and then SpaceX is going to send it up in January or February. Starting to look new to investing. I know you don't like telling people what to do, but just wondering how you would think about the market. So, WVF. Yo, D-Man. Hey, D-Man, you're always nice to me. Thank you so much for being nice. I honestly, D-Man, and I mean that like sincerely, I did nothing other than open up your mind to a different way of doing stuff. You did your portfolio did everything, and you did everything. I appreciate your support. But if I do anything for anybody, I mean, I'm happy to help. But my goal is to teach you how to fish, not to give you the fish. So and I know your portfolio does not look like mine. So, and that's a great lead into WVF's question. What do I think about the market? So tomorrow you're going to hear me, and if you join, you're going to hear. And I went over it a little bit yesterday, and I've been thinking about it today. I did nothing today other than play Xbox. I played Xbox. I cut my hair. I set up this webcam, and played Xbox. That's it. I took the dogs out. But that's it. That's literally it. So what would I say about the market? You have to look at, and you can't ignore. We can look at QQQ, okay? We can look at the last 25 years of QQQ. We're heading into the weakest month, September. Okay, over the last 25 years, this is the weakest month, September. August wasn't bad. I mean, August is good. And where did QQQ start August? Let's look at August 1st. We started August 1st, and it's a winner because you started August 1st, you opened at 471. Okay, right now you're at 480. So far, unless we crash this week, you're going to end August positive. Okay, doesn't mean, we opened at 471. The low on August 1st was 458. We lost 2%. That's big. You can look at, we can go and look at SPY. And SPY in particular has a very weak September. August 1st, we opened up at 552. You're at 562. So you're kind of, in this space that, hey, August may wind up positive. And for the last 26 years, September's the weakest month of the year. And then you've got rate cuts that potentially are a good thing. But historically, they're not. And I'll go over more of that data. But historically, it's not. So WVF, I would say it depends on your friend's timeline. If his or her goal is to, retire 30 years from now, dollar cost average your way in. Don't worry about the market. Don't worry about the seasonality. Start with your ETFs. You need to have, in a brokerage account, you need to have $25,000 in order to avoid the pattern day trading, the PDT rule. And so that would be, your goal is to get $25,000 in ETFs. So between VOO, QQQ, VGT, whatever you want. But make sure that you've got your ETFs for $25,000, and then over that, start buying single stocks. But dollar cost average your way in, and that's the way you do things. And once you get over $25,000, if you want to take $5,000 and you want to trade it, that's the way you do it. But you've got to have that base of $25,000 that doesn't go below $25,000, because the second you go below $25,000, your brokerage firm's going to screw you. Thanks, D man. I think everybody, yeah. I mean, you were there for a while. I was just doing vocal stuff on Spotfiy. I wasn't even doing the freaking newsletter, I don't think. So I appreciate the support. I mean, day ones, I'll always remember kind of, I got a lot of people now. And I want to grow organically. Yeah, and I'll lead you down a wrong path. I mean, shit, I sold out that week that the Japan trade came in. I didn't sell out completely, but I sold, some stuff. That was the wrong way to go. It bounced right back. Experienced folks knew, hey, it's good, but Tyler, be careful with Tesla. And the only reason I say be careful with Tesla is the valuation on Tesla. Nobody's looking at this. And the reason nobody's looking at this is because it hasn't mattered in the past. And just because it hasn't mattered in the past doesn't mean it's not going to come up. And so I worry about people getting into Tesla. I'm in Tesla through XLY because XLY has a large portion of Tesla. But when you look at the valuation, and again, the growth is what's going to come. Look at what Uber just did. They went with Cruise. They partnered with Cruise. That's not great for Tesla. I think he's going to be forced when the robotaxi comes out to actually put LiDAR on vehicles. And I think, for those of us who have full self-driving, I think he's going to keep it cameras and just call it something else. And yeah. Yeah, D-Man, I'm doing well. I need to release how much I'm making. I think at the end of July, it was like 52,000 that I made this year off the podcast. I'll be pretty honest with it. I mean, the previous year, it was like, I think 12 or 13, somewhere in that neighborhood. It wasn't a lot. And the previous years before that was 0. But I'll still do this. Hello, girl. I'll still do this even if I don't get paid. At some point, I'm going to pull it back. 6 days a week is a lot. 6 days a week is really a lot. But yeah, Tyler. So with Tesla, it's this. Now, if this PEG ratio, and this is what you want to pay attention for with Tesla, the PEG ratio, it's 8.56. Most seasoned investors like Buffett, like Peter Lynch, like Ray Dalio, they won't touch an 8.56. And what that PEG ratio does, it includes the growth. Now, the revenue growth year over year forward is expected to be 12.5. When you look at the previous, it's only 1.37. So that 8 is actually expecting them to grow by 12.5. I don't know that they're going to grow at 12.5. That everybody that I know who has a Tesla, perfectly happy with their Tesla. We're not buying others. So I don't know exactly where they're getting this growth. BMW outsold them in Europe. So it might be an issue where they might have seen their heyday, and until they get something really going with full self-driving, something of that sort, it's going to be a tough road to hoe. I love that word, hoe. But Tyler, I would not throw out Tesla because I do think you can trade Tesla. And all I'm talking about is, hey, do you want to buy and hold it? I would say no. And the reason I would say no is because the 4-hour algorithm works really well. You make over 24.3 months, 124.7%. You win 63% of the time. And that's just a testament to the last 2 years where it's been, you go back to January 2023 and you've had these big run-ups and big drop-downs, and that's perfect for the 4-hour algorithm. It's perfect. SMCI makes up 495%. The only difference is if you bought and held over the last 24.3 months with SMCI, you made 735%. But if you can't sleep at night because SMCI makes you nervous, get the 4-hour algorithm. I recommend a Roth IRA account for her just because she is barely starting, yes, and not planning to invest much. Now, absolutely, Roth IRA. Amazon and NVIDIA, you can't go wrong. Amazon's got a nice gap that it just filled too, I think. Yeah. See that gap right there? That earnings gap? We filled it. So, but definitely at younger ages, you want to get into Roth. And the reason you want to get into Roth is because as you get older, if you do become successful, which hopefully you do, there are limits on Roths. And you can always do a backdoor Roth, but I don't know what you're crying for. Oh. See, the funny thing is, you say you can't see me. I can't see you either. That what? Oh, two girls, one cup. You know that video, right? You know that joke? Okay, I'll explain it later because it's after hours. But yeah, Roth you should have. I think I've got Roth isn't even probably about 3% because I got in late. I didn't do a Roth. I had a bad tax accountant when I was younger, and he was a prepper, and I didn't know enough about taxes. And this is why I kind of harp on people knowing taxes. But I didn't know enough about taxes. And when I started a Roth, he said, "What are you, crazy? What are you talking about?" He goes, "You don't think the government's coming after that money? You think that's safe? You think paying the taxes now and then they're not going to ask for the taxes later?" He goes, "You're out of your mind." I didn't have a great tax guy. Would you rather suggest an ETF? So WVF, if she under 25, you want to start with ETFs, and you don't want to start with single stocks. And the reason you don't want to start with single stocks is because look at Amazon. Amazon, we just talked about the valuation of Tesla. Look at the valuation of Amazon. Now the PEG for the trailing 12 months, fantastic. It's 1.6 or 0.18. 1.6 is the forward. So it's better than Tesla, but it's still not great because you've still got to grow tremendously for that. And Nvidia, this is one that I have no idea what the market's going to do because you could blow earnings out the water and then all of a sudden, Nvidia gets sold off because people are taking profits. Remember, the market is a free-flowing system, so it's not just, hey, they beat, it's going to go up. If they beat, it's got to be like crazy good. So I'd be a little bit careful with. I don't want to say, hey, don't buy them, but I'd go the ETF route first. That would be my suggestion. But again, depends on the risk tolerance. I got a friend who doesn't even want QQQ. It's too risky for her. So, thanks, D-Man. Yeah, Tyler, I don't do options. And I know people take my suggestions and then do options on their own, which I'm perfectly fine with. And I told my financial advisor, if I ever did options, I'm super scared that I'll just get addicted to the gains and be like, screw long-term investing. And I'll lose my whole freaking amount. And I'll have to go back to work. And I don't want to go back to work. Yeah, and that's the way to do it, D-Man. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Don't cash at me. Don't Venmo me. Don't PayPal me. Pay for the newsletter. And I know, and you guys may not know this, currently I think 30% gets taken out. So of the money that you send me, 30% goes to the platform, which I'm okay with because they manage that stuff. Now, what I'm not okay with is when Apple comes out and they start implementing Apple, in order to keep the Substack app on the Apple store, they have to pay an additional 30%. So Substack wants 30% on top of 30%. So that's what I'm not okay with. So if that comes out, I'll probably tell people, do not pay through the Apple app because it screws me and it screws everybody. Again, I own a ton of Apple stock, so it probably doesn't even. VOO is the greatest tool. VOO and SPY are the greatest things out there. That's Miracle Grow. That's Miracle Grow is, my cousin who lives in Virginia just texted me 2 weeks ago. He's like, dude, I just used Scott's Miracle Grow on my grass. And he goes, it's fantastic. Algorithm makes you 34%. So the algorithm actually beats Over 22 years, you lose 3% on this one, but it's been going well. I don't know if it's the bottom valuation of it. And then I got to go watch this video, so I'm going to stay on for a little bit. Yeah, we're at 30 minutes. I'm going to stay on for a little bit. Are they not making money? Profit. Net income margin. No, they're losing money. But it's ranked number 1 in the fertilizer group. There's only like 10 of them, so. But. Oh, you like the new cam setup? It is cool. I mean, it tracks me too. That's what's awesome. And by the way, teeth look good, don't they? Teeth are white as So here's the thing. I haven't slept. Well, I've been taking a pill to sleep, and it's not like a, Ambien or anything like that. It's just one of those cold pills that doesn't have the cold portion on it. It's just the sleep portion on it. It's over the counter through like, I think CVS or something. They're like 5 years old, so they have like no power, but they get psychosomatic where it just like lets me go. Visa is a killer. I mean, I wish I would have put money into Visa instead of freaking Square and the other, and PayPal. I would have been better off in Visa. I like Visa. I think it's holding on to this 50-day. I would be slightly concerned on it if we do go into a recession. And that's the discussion of, okay, are we, is unemployment going to 5% or is it coming back down to 4%? And that's where Visa would come into play, because specifically with the consumer, if the consumer is weakening, Visa's going to get hit hard. So. Anon is a great one. See, man, I like your Twitter. I check it out every now and then. I don't hit like, though. Should, though. Can you please, what item? Set up model number. Oh, really? Oh. Dave wants me to do that, yeah. Yeah. I don't know the model numbers, Dave. I'll come. Dude, I'm on bases that check out my watch. Look at the watch list. I'm assuming, D-Man, the top is your holdings, right? And then the second list and third list are your watch lists. Am I right on that? I hate trading for you. But I'm not going to ding them, because it's like Coke and Pepsi. Whatever you like is whatever you should use. I don't, say, hey, you should absolutely use Trendspider. D-Man loves his trading view. So I'm not going to make you switch over. In fact, D-Man, I was thinking about you this weekend when I did the newsletter and I did those plays. I know it's cheap. Trendspider is expensive. And if you're experienced enough that you kind of have your system set, who is it? There's I think it's Ed, who I talked with. Ed Corona, who's the options oracle on Substack. I tried to get him to become a Trendspider affiliate because he said, hey, I'm just looking for affiliate stuff. Can you help me? And I said, Trendspider is one of the ones that I think you should do because, and I think, there's another guy, Pragmatic Investor, James Ford. He became an affiliate. In fact, I'm not going to bring him up, but stole my algorithm and he stole my algorithm. Each his own. My algorithm's fairly proprietary, and I wish people wouldn't. But, you know, if 1 million people start using my algorithm, it becomes less effective. So that's why typically like hedge funds and stuff like that, they don't share how they look at specific stocks, because that amount of money, if it gets out, it could change stock trajectories. But I like this list. I mean, Palantir has been killing it. Anon's been killing it. CrowdStrike will kill it. It's at 271. I mean, come on. CrowdStrike was at under $200 a week ago. Schwab, that's an $80 stock. Visa, I think, is fine. Citigroup's a $90 stock. Walmart, it's probably going up to $80 pretty soon. Meta, I can't imagine that doesn't go to $700 with the amount of money that the political stuff is going to spend. Google, I think Google's fine long term. I think Microsoft is fine long term. And I think Home Depot's having a nice little rebound. So I like the list. I like it. Earnings Hub. It is the 25th, so we got Sentinel. Huh. Interesting. They report before CrowdStrike. This CrowdStrike is on Wednesday. Sentinel 1. That's going to give you a good look at CrowdStrike stuff. WVF, you're welcome to expand your brain, but honestly, I ain't keeping this up. This is to test this setup and to test the recording so that during the week I can actually have a decent life. Marvell's Dell and Marvell, I mean, don't fall asleep on Lulu. Going back over 300. I mean, I don't know, MongoDB. Ulta's got earnings. If the consumer is really that stretched, I mean, look at Target's earnings. Target's earnings were good. Ulta's, that's one of the main distributors of Ulta, from what I know. I mean, I got screwed on Ulta. Freaking D-Man, don't worry about switching. D-Man, if I teach you anything, the first thing is don't get FOMO. You ever want me to run a chart in the algorithm, I will run it for you. All you have to do is ask. But don't get FOMO. Do not get FOMO and go and move to it. You're doing it right. This one, the reason I sold this was, I sold at 70. I didn't think it was going above 70. Thought we were hitting a... Because if you look at the 4-hour on this one, gapped up there. I didn't like this. I mean, the RSI's high, the MACD's high. You look at the weekly, and the RSI shot up over 50. I got nervous. Yeah, Meta was just, I mean, it's kind of, and I don't want to put it this way, but I will put it this way. It's kind of like NVIDIA. I mean, I think a year from now, NVIDIA, based on the valuation of NVIDIA, I think they're going to get, it's a coin flip for NVIDIA this week. Does it go up on earnings or does it come down? I don't know. I think it's a coin flip. And that's why I say I've got enough that I don't feel pressured to add to it. But if it comes back down, I think you add to it. Because I don't think that Wall Street, with 60 freaking analysts, is valuing this at 143 without any kind of knowledge of, hey, we got a ton of orders and we're blowing it away. Now, what you have to worry about is let's go over here and we're going to go to FinViz because I know I can look up insider information on Trendspider, and I know there's other places where I can look at it. I'm just old school, and this is where I learned. I mean, before I was paying for anything, I was using all the free tools. And look at Jensen Huang. Dude is selling $12 million a day. $12 million a day. While he can. So, I don't think that there's nothing to see here. But I also look at, reiterated Goldman, a buy, 4 days ago at 135 and it's trading at 124. I'm okay making that amount of money because I do think that Nvidia a year from now is higher than where we are today. So, yeah, D-Man, that's the way to do it. I mean, that's the way to build wealth is when you see something like that printing money and all that they're doing is, getting dinged because they're spending money. I mean, make no mistake about it. Google got dinged because they're spending money. Meta got dinged because they were spending money. Amazon got dinged because they're spending money. If you don't think that those three players, and Microsoft got dinged because they're spending money, if you don't think that those four players know about spending money and investing capital, that's it. I think you told me BBWI is because your girlfriend likes candles. Or wife, I don't know which. That's the craziest freaking play I've ever heard about. Maya. We don't have candles in our house. Upstairs. Dogs and that. When I tell you guys, nobody likes hearing me talk. Everybody leaves. You guys are the only ones. Yeah. I enjoy coming on. BSCO? Oh, Victoria's Secret. Yeah. Wait here and hold on. That's the fan on the MacBook. That's the MacBooks. Running hot. Oh. I don't know. That's a crazy one. Okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to hit the show exit. I'm going to hop out here because I'm going to go watch the Steve McNair documentary on Netflix. So I'm going to hop out here, but I'll be back tomorrow morning. And tomorrow I'm going to post this. I'm going to check that the file is okay because I've been on here 42 minutes. That's a big enough file. So, okay. Thanks you guys for hopping on. I'll see you tomorrow.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell.